Hello and welcome to Menalac's brand new podcast, Member Musing, a platform that will bring audiences closer to insightful conversation of the state of the MENA leisure and entertainment industry, as well as innovative services, products and achievements of Menalac members. Today, I'm speaking with Bruce Quay, Chief Operations Officer for Aquatic Development Group. Welcome, Bruce. Thank you so much for joining me on Menalac's podcast.
Oh, hi, Brooke. Pleasure to meet you, and thanks for having me on.
Our pleasure. So Aquatic Development Group is North America's leading waterpark design, construction and manufacturing firm with projects that span across the world. Bruce, let's dive straight in, shall we? Can you tell our audience about the history of ADG and ADG Waves? Please include some milestones of the company since its beginning in the 1950s.
Sure. As you mentioned, we've been serving the water park industry and the aquatics industry for a long time. Today, the company has two divisions. The first designs and builds outdoor water parks and indoor water parks, as well as large water amenities for hotels and resorts. The other side of our business is ADG Wave, engineer, manufacture, and install wave generation equipment for wave pools and action rivers and specialty wave movements for zoos and aquarium exhibits. And then EpicSurf, which we can talk about later, is the newest product line we have, which falls under the ADG Waves umbrella. So that's a high-level overview. So I think the origins of ADG really are from the pool construction business. Our founder, Herb Ellis, started selling commercial swimming pools when he was in college. Not long after he graduated, he actually bought the business and quickly grew it to one of the largest commercial pool builders in the Northeast. In those days, we were building competition pools for universities, municipalities, YMCAs, typical 25, 50-meter pools, rectangular stuff. Over time, the business evolved and we became a design build firm with our own design teams, our own engineering teams, which meant we could design the pools, we could engineer them in-house, and then we could go out and build the pools. This allowed us much more creativity. We were more cost effective, and ultimately we became much faster to market. In the early 80s, we were looking to diversify from that business, and we had the good fortune to have had the opportunity to build a couple of wave pools for some of the first outdoor water park developments in the U.S. market. And we liked building wave pools. They were frankly more profitable, and we could leverage our design capability. So, and we liked the water park industry, though it was still new and somewhat fragmented. We could see that it had great potential. So we pivoted from commercial pools and dove headfirst into the water park design and construction business, and quickly found ourselves designing and building complete water parks for clients like Six Flags and Kentucky Kingdom and Wet and Wild. Today, on that side of the business, design and build, we have designed and built over 100 outdoor water parks, countless water park expansions. We built 20 indoor water parks. And we've built dozens of next-generation water amenities for resorts, including Marriott and Hilton and Kalahari. So that's the design build part of our business. ADG Waves business took off in the early 80s. As we started building wave pools in these first-generation water parks, we realized that the existing wave system technology in the market was not very well designed, not very reliable, and not very versatile. These were early on, they were predominantly hydraulic-based systems. And we thought that we could build a better mousetrap. So we began engineering and manufacturing our own wave systems, originally under the WaveTech brand. And, this led us to introducing many firsts in the wave generation equipment business. Maybe one of the most significant early things we did is transition from to pneumatic-based wave systems. Pneumatic-based wave systems, which is basically air generated, pushing air through a chamber, moving the water around. It had a myriad of advantages, not least of which was we could remove all the moving parts and all the steel componentry from the water, which made for greater reliability and more durability. So over the next 20 years, ADG drove many innovations that some of them are still state of the art today in the wave generation business. We were the first to introduce all stainless steel componentry to our systems. We were the first to develop variable wave programmability, which meant we could program waves in the pool to provide multiple wave profiles, different wave frequencies, different wave heights. And we were, even back in the 80s, producing roller waves that were over 6 feet high. So a bunch of innovations. We also were the first to develop a remote mounted wave systems, which we did in conjunction with a project with SeaWorld, who had just created a new seal exhibit. And they came to us saying, could you develop a wave movement system that was really silent? We didn't want any noise. So we, in fact, developed a system where we could have all of the wave equipment hundreds of feet away from the exhibit, which met their need. And actually that technology allowed us to be more creative in developing pretty unique wave pools, including 2 separate beaches and 2 separate experiences, all off of one wave system built remotely from the pool. So a lot of early technology development. And then, another milestone, I guess in the mid 80s, ADG entered the surf pool market, and we developed the first pneumatic-based surf wave systems in the world. And some of these pools that we built in California became the sites for some of the first inland pro surfing competitions way back in the late 80s.
There's, Bruce, I'll just sort of pop in there. There's been a rise in surfing, hasn't there? Popularity and even recognition for the sport of surfing over the past several years. It's now an official permanent Olympic sport, and also I believe it was made its debut in the Tokyo 2020 Paralympics. So how are you catering for this increased interest in the sport?
Well, Brooke, you're absolutely right. Right. We've been involved with the man-made surf business for 30 years, but certainly things are changing rapidly in that market, and very positively over these past few years. And you can see why, right? The sport of surfing is exploding around the world. Some say it's the fastest growing sport on the planet, with, I think, over 35 million people that identify themselves as surfers. And although it's growing, growth will only be sustainable with greater access to the general public for waves, right? Most people don't live by the ocean, and they can't afford to go to the ocean. So this has really been driving the expansion of man-made inland surf lagoon market. We've seen multiple surf lagoon venues coming online over the last few years, and many more in development. So we decided that there was one missing piece of that man-made inland surf business, and that was a cost-effective, small footprint surfing experience that everybody could enjoy. So EpicSurf was introduced by ADG to be the missing piece in this market. EpicSurf, what is EpicSurf? EpicSurf is a self-contained deep water standing wave system manufactured, shipped, and installed by ADG on a very small footprint, basically the size of a tennis court. And for surfers, the key feature of EpicSurf is that it's a true deep water wave experience. It's not a sheet wave experience. It's not thick wave over a sheet that you might see in something like a FlowRider, which we have built 120 of them ourselves over time. And because it's because it's not thick sheet, because it's thick wave, a deep wave, you can use any board that you'd use in the ocean, in a river, or in a lake. So EpicSurf was designed to appeal to all surfers and wannabe surfers, young and old. An essential feature of the EpicSurf wave is that it can be adjusted from 2 feet to 5 feet in real time in a matter of seconds. So you can imagine on EpicSurf, at one moment you're running a 2-foot wave for maybe a beginner's surf lesson program. And at the end of that session, in a matter of seconds, we can crank the wave up to 5 feet, which can be challenging for the most advanced surfer that might come in for the next session. Another compelling piece of the EpicSurf experience is the amount of surfing that someone can get in a 1-hour session. Because the wave is always on, right? And it's a stationary wave, always there. There's no paddling out after you've got off the wave for 5 or 6 minutes to get to the next wave. So it results in very little downtime, and a surfer might get 20 or more waves in an hour-long session. So the depth of the EpicSurf wave and the ability to change the wave height on demand makes EpicSurf fun and challenging for all types of surfers, with any board, with or without fins.
It sounds epic, Bruce.
Yeah, we know that it's sort of universal because we've had just about anybody you can imagine in and hosted them at our installation in New York over the last year or so. We had professional surfers, surf schools, boogie boarders who were like boogie boarding would wanted to take it up a notch. We brought skimboarders in, river surfers, even snowboarders and skateboarders. And they all provided great feedback and ideas as we were evolving the EpicSurf system. And they taught us a lot. They taught us a lot about the benefits of varying wave heights and the right boards for the right wave height, what size the unit should be, what kind of recovery area was correct, how we could design it for more training and lesson programs, what was the optimal ride time and how long would people typically be on a ride. So we learned a lot in these events that we had. I think though the most significant thing that we learned was what an amazing communal atmosphere EpicSurf creates. At each of our events, we had every profile person you can imagine surfing together, from little kids to 70-year-olds to professional surfers and people that had never been on a surfboard. Even our employees were on it. And all hanging out, having a great time, cheering each other on, helping each other learn. And, when we saw that sort of communal atmosphere and all the fun that was created and how it sort of brought people together, we really knew we had something special with EpicSurf, a surf experience for everybody.
Yeah, it sounds fantastic. Can you tell us about EpicSurf's focus on appealing to the adaptive surfing community?
Sure, I'd love to. As we started to get involved with the development of EpicSurf, I learned a lot of things, and one of which was amazing to me, that there are over 1 billion people on this planet that consider themselves disabled, whether it's physically or mentally or emotionally. So early on, one of our primary goals with the development of EpicSurf was that it would be a vehicle for bringing access to aspiring surfers of all abilities. We wanted to be offering real surfing experience to millions who might not otherwise ever get a chance to experience the benefits of surfing. So with that in mind, this past summer, we hosted an adaptive surfing day. We invited a number of individuals with a wide range of disabilities to come into New York and experience EpicSurf. We had representatives from the Rhode Island chapter of AmpSurf. We had disabled veterans from the New York VA. We invited in Christian Bailey, a world-class adaptive surfing champion. And we had paraplegic individuals, a blind individual, and even a lady with severe autism. And it was amazing. I mean, the goal of the event was to confirm that EpicSurf could be accessible to anyone for surfing, no matter what their ability. And it was also to understand how EpicSurf could be uniquely beneficial for the adaptive surfing community. And what I didn't realize is adaptive surfing has been going on a long time. It was established in the late 60s in Brazil. It's been growing ever since. The first adaptive surfing competition started in 2007, and now there's adaptive surf lessons and sessions and clinics going on around the world. So the event was extremely beneficial to us, to see how man-made waves, and specifically a standing wave, is really the perfect environment for adaptive surfing. With EpicSurf, we provided a controlled setting, right? A predictable wave. It's the same wave every time. So and it's on a compact footprint. So it made it really easy for instruction. It made it very easy for all these individuals to get on and off of the wave, sometimes using a training bar that we had developed. And, it was, and they gave us great feedback, about the physical fitness benefits to them of surfing, and a sense of achievement as a handicapped individual to be able to get up and ride on a real wave on a surfboard, a sense of belonging, sense of self-confidence. So, it was an incredibly rewarding day for us, for all the individuals involved with it, including our own employees. And we were rewarded for it recently at Surf Park Central, where we were actually awarded as the company making the most inroads to democratize the sport of surfing. And we're very proud of that.
So, Bruce, what waves are ADG going to make within the MENA region's leisure and entertainment industry?
Well, I think, we're excited about being part of the region coming to it. This will be our second year. We've come to the UAE to display, and I think that the things that we're excited to do is to bring our commitment to partnering with businesses and individuals in the region to bring a greater access to surfing and a more awareness to surfing through EpicSurf. We know that EpicSurf can help, introduce tens of thousands of new surfers with all abilities into the region. And, I think the other thing that we want to bring is our passion for making waves, right? I think that ADG's 50 years of experience in the water park industry, our design, creativity, and our technology, we can create one-of-a-kind wave pools and rivers and amazing, water park experiences for some of these just incredibly ambitious water parks that are planned for the region.
And there's a lot more expansion that's happening this year,
Indeed.
As in, the next 5 years as well. So it'd be fantastic for you, ADG, to be a part of it and give us that real authentic experience.
Exactly. Absolutely.
Bruce, thank you so much for joining me on Menalac's podcast series. It's been a pleasure speaking with you.
Thank you. Wonderful getting a chance to meet you, and thanks for the time.
Thank you. To our audience, head over to Aquatic Development Group's website, www.aquaticgroup.com, to find out more information and where you can enjoy their amazing and accessible products. Don't forget to also follow Menalac's social media pages, as well as checking out their website. All of these details can be found in the description section of this episode. Thank you to our audience for joining us. I'll see you soon on the next episode of Member Musing. Bye for now.